You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. In an open letter published on Saturday, dozens of black church leaders from Georgia ordered or demanded that Senator Kelly Loeffler to cease and desist her false characterizations of Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock. The various pastors, the Ministerial Alliance, believe Loeffler's claims that Warnock is radical and a socialist are baseless and a broader attack against the black church and Warnock's faith. Loeffler called Warnock a radical liberal 13 times during their debate on December 6th and has criticized the pastor in ads for his association with Reverend Dr. Jeremiah Wright. Now, Loeffler responded to the letter and Warnock on Twitter by saying, quote, "No one attacked the black church. We simply exposed your record in your own words." Joining us right now is Reverend Daryl Winston of Daryl Winston Ministries and Bishop Carl McRae of Exousia, Lighthouse International Christian Ministries. Is that correct? I think I pronounced it right.
That is correct.
All right, then. First of all, let me start with you, Reverend Winston. This letter, very strong language, highly critical of Kelly Loeffler, also by saying, ripping her for her comments about Black Lives Matter, saying she's been quiet about the Proud Boys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The sheer hypocrisy, taking a page from Trumpism, where they think that they could say anything to spew lies and deceit, and thinking that we should just take it lying down. And we're saying to her in no uncertain term, as my grandmother and the elders used to say, growing up, you're a lie and the truth is not in you.
The thing that we're seeing, Bishop McRae, again, Republicans love to talk about faith. They appeal to white conservative evangelicals. They said that folks should not question the faith of Amy Coney Barrett when she was nominated to the Supreme Court, yet they have no problem questioning the faith of Pastor Raphael Warnock.
That is exactly what they said, Brother Roland. They, the cognitive dissonance in that lot, and I do want to say all of them, is amazing to me. That they can stand in judgment of and parse every word uttered by this pastor even 15, 20 years ago. And then to, in her own voice, call what, if anyone were to question the spiritual bona fides of Amy Coney Barrett, she called it disgusting. And that yet she turns around and robotically, repeatedly attacks Reverend Warnock and expect us to let that go unanswered. I don't know what planet she's existed in, but the time has come where we will push back at full-throated at the lies that they hurl and expect them to somehow manifest as truth. We know Scripture. We know our relationship with God. We know the prophetic tradition of Jesus Christ. And we understand that they have co-opted Christianity, but we're taking it back. We're taking it back.
The thing that's also interesting here, Reverend Winston, the thing that's very interesting here when we look at what is going on in this race, when the fact that Kelly Loeffler, one of her first appearances after she replaced Johnny Isaacson, was going to Ebenezer Baptist Church for MLK Day celebration. So, and it's like, so you thought it was so radical, yet you showed up.
And I was there. She was glad to be in the number, or she acted as if she was just glad to be in the mix. And in fact, she spoke and she was very gracious, and she even remarked that she looked forward to coming back again. And so we know then that they are taking this bread and butter plate from the late Lee Atwater, who got his from Nixon, the whole Nixonian playbook, to stroke the fear in their voting bloc, this fear-mongering, sheer racism. But we detest the mockery. And to make mockery, we know that the Euro-American churches and white evangelicals have long expressed their disdain for the African-American congregations and despise and prophetic preaching. I told them this morning, we forget that when Dr. King spoke out against the Vietnam War at Riverside in 1967, he was persona non grata. And then now all of them claim to love Dr. King and seek to hijack his message. They talk about the 63 Dr. King, but they don't want to deal with that 67 and 68 Dr. King that call for the redistribution of wealth. And so we're saying, because you got people in our community who are ahistorical, they don't have a sense of historical continuity, they don't see anything wrong. And so we're so grateful that these over 100 interfaith clergy decided to join us, and more are saying, add me to the list. And in the next few days leading up to the election, we have a multi-tier approach where we're going to be pushing back, because we know then that they, meaning the powers that be and those who bow at the shrine of Trumpism, will say anything or try to get away with saying anything and think that we're supposed to accept it.
Well, one of the things that also jumps out at me on this is that she's attacked him saying he's anti-Israel. Yet there have been a number of Jewish leaders who come out in support of Raphael Warnock. You've got John Ossoff, who is Jewish, who's running with him. So you would think if somebody was so anti-Jewish, they would not be supporting him. But again, what people need to understand, when white conservatives say he's anti-Jewish, they really are appealing to those white conservative evangelicals who hold this very lofty view, this biblical view of Israel.
They equate Zionism with Judaism, and many rabbis here in Atlanta and abroad are working now on a piece where they are addressing the Jewish community, long history with the African American church. One of my favorite, Rabbi Joshua Heschel, who Dr. King marched with, and other rabbis were right there in the midst. So Ebenezer and Warnock has maintained a long history of working in the Jewish community. The services are often interfaith in terms of the commemorative services that the King Center runs there, but there are many different, for instances, Warnock's and the good people of Ebenezer interface and interacting with the Jewish community. And as you know, as of late, there has been this whole push toward silencing and muzzling prophetic preaching that, of course, is concerned not just with redemption from personal sins, but addressing, as Jesus did, those oppressive conditions caused by man. So we ought to be able to say, all Palestinian lives matter. As preachers of the gospel, Cuban lives matters, and lives in the Congo matters. For them to seek to check the preacher is an attempt to do what they wasn't able to do in times past, but they think that they can now push us into a corner where we just sit down and preach an otherworldly by and by when we die message, so that we can become enablers of systemic evil that they perpetuate on a daily basis.
Well, I certainly hope that folks in Georgia are going to respond in kind to what is happening by turning out at the polls. The best way to shut them up is to beat them. Simple as that. Gentlemen, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you, Roland, for having us. Love your show, and we appreciate you opening up your platform for us to share.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.